Think about a time when you felt stuck, not physically but emotionally. A grudge, a regret, a fear that kept replaying in your mind. You wanted to move forward, but something kept pulling you back. Now ask yourself, what if the only thing holding you back was you? We carry so much that we don't need. Pain from the past, expectations from others, fear of failure, and we tell ourselves we have to hold on to it, that it's part of who we are. But what if we didn't? What if we could finally let go of what doesn't serve us? Today, let's talk about emotional freedom and how to claim it. We all carry something. Some of it we pick up along the way, pain from past mistakes, wounds from relationships, fears that whisper in the back of our minds. Some of it is given to us, expectations from family, judgments from society, burdens we never asked for but somehow ended up carrying anyway. At first, these things seem small. A grudge here, a regret there, an unresolved conflict tucked away in the corners of our thoughts. But over time, they add up. And before we even realize it, we're walking through life with an invisible weight pressing down on us. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. Every negative experience, every self-doubt, every fear, it all gets tossed into the bag. And the crazy part? Most of us never stop to take anything out. We just keep adding more guilt, more resentment, more comparison, more pressure. But here's the thing, this weight, it's not inevitable. It's not something we have to carry. It's something we choose, even if we don't realize it. Think about how much of what you carry is from the past. Old mistakes that haunt you, things people said about you years ago, a failure that made you feel like you weren't enough. The problem isn't that these things happened. It's that we keep holding on to them as if carrying them somehow changes them. We replay old conversations in our minds, analyzing what we should have said. We hold grudges as if resentment somehow balances the scales of justice. We dwell on missed opportunities, convincing ourselves that if we just think about them enough, we can rewrite the past. But we can't. No amount of carrying old pain will change what happened. No amount of reliving regret will give us a different outcome. No amount of clutching to fear will protect us from the unknown. Yet we do it anyway, because part of us believes that if we let go of these things, we lose something. That if we release resentment, we let someone off the hook. That if we move on from failure, we're admitting defeat. That if we stop carrying our past, we risk repeating it. But in reality, the only thing we lose when we let go is the weight that's been holding us down. And what's even heavier than the past? The weight of expectations. The pressure to be who others think we should be. The constant need to prove ourselves. The fear of disappointing people. We shape our lives around the approval of others, often at the cost of our own happiness. How much of what you do is truly for you? How much of the stress you feel is actually yours? And how much is borrowed from someone else's idea of what your life should look like? We tell ourselves that if we work hard enough, push ourselves enough, say yes to everything, we'll finally feel enough. But what if the real answer isn't adding more weight? What if it's putting some of it down? The truth is, carrying unnecessary weight doesn't make us stronger. It just makes us tired. It steals our energy, our joy, our ability to be present. And the saddest part, most of us are so used to it that we don't even realize how heavy it's become. So maybe the question isn't how much more can I carry? Maybe the real question is, what am I willing to set down? We like to believe we're in control, that if we plan enough, prepare enough, worry enough, we can keep life in check. That if we hold on tight, nothing can slip through our fingers. That if we just try harder, we can make things turn out exactly the way we want. But the truth is, control is an illusion. We don't control other people, what they think, how they act, what they choose to do. We don't control circumstances, unexpected setbacks, opportunities that come and go, the curveballs life throws our way. And yet we exhaust ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable, believing that if we don't, everything will fall apart. Think about how much of our stress comes from this illusion. We replay past conversations in our minds, wishing we had said something different, as if we can rewrite history by thinking about it enough times. We try to manage how people perceive us, filtering our words, our actions, even our personalities, in an attempt to make sure we're liked, respected, or understood. We cling to outcomes, convincing ourselves that if things don't go exactly as planned, we've somehow failed. But no matter how hard we try, we cannot control everything. And that's terrifying, because if we admit we don't have control, then what do we have? If we let go of the need to micromanage every detail of our lives, what's left? This is why so many people resist the idea of surrender. It feels like giving up, like weakness, like letting chaos take over. But surrender is not the absence of action. It's the recognition of reality. It's understanding the difference between what we can influence and what we can't. We cannot control whether someone forgives us, but we can control whether we apologize. We cannot control whether an opportunity comes our way, but we can control whether we're prepared for it. We cannot control how others perceive us, but we can control how we show up, how we treat people, and whether we stay true to our values. Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming passive. It doesn't mean we stop trying, caring, or making an effort. It means we stop wasting energy on things outside our influence and start focusing on what we can change: ourselves, our actions, our responses. The irony of control is that the tighter we hold on, the more we suffer. The more we try to force things to go our way, the more we resist the natural flow of life. And in that resistance, we create stress, frustration, and disappointment. We fear uncertainty because it makes us feel powerless. But uncertainty isn't the enemy, it's just life. And the more we learn to embrace it, the more freedom we gain. Think about the moments in your life when things didn't go according to plan, but turned out better than you expected. The job you didn't get that led to a better opportunity. The relationship that ended, making space for something healthier. The mistake that taught you a lesson you never would have learned otherwise. These moments remind us that control is overrated. That sometimes the best things happen when we stop trying to force them. That real peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from trusting ourselves enough to handle whatever happens next. We are all storytellers, not in the sense of writing books or making movies, but in the way we make sense of our lives. Every experience, every memory, every emotion is filtered through the story we tell ourselves about it. And that story, it shapes everything. It shapes how we see ourselves. It shapes how we see others. It shapes what we believe is possible. But here's the catch. The stories we tell ourselves are not always true. We don't experience life as it is. We experience life as we interpret it. Two people can go through the exact same situation and walk away with completely different meanings. One sees a setback, the other sees a lesson. One sees rejection, the other sees redirection. One sees failure, the other sees growth. The difference? The narrative. And yet so many of us walk around carrying painful, disempowering narratives without ever questioning them. We tell ourselves stories about who we are, what we deserve, and what we're capable of. Stories that were shaped by past experiences, by the words of others, by things that happened to us when we were too young to understand them. Maybe somewhere along the way, someone made you feel like you weren't enough, and that story stuck. Maybe you made a mistake, and instead of seeing it as a moment, you turned it into an identity. Maybe you were hurt, and instead of healing, you built a narrative that said trusting people is dangerous. These stories don't just sit in the back of our minds, they become the lens through which we see everything. If we believe we're not good enough, we subconsciously look for evidence to prove it. If we believe people will hurt us, we approach relationships with suspicion. If we believe success isn't for us, we sabotage ourselves before we even start. But here's the most important truth. We are not our stories. Just because we've told ourselves something for years doesn't mean it has to be the truth forever. Just because a narrative has been passed down to us by family, by society, by past experiences, doesn't mean we can't rewrite it. And that's exactly what we must do. Rewriting the narrative starts with awareness. It starts with recognizing the stories that are running our lives, the ones that keep us small, the ones that keep us afraid, the ones that whisper, "This is just who you are," as if we have no say in the matter. But we do. We get to challenge those stories. We get to ask, Is this really true? We get to choose different meanings. What if this happened for me, not to me? We get to redefine our identity. What if I am not my past? What if I am who I decide to become? And the beauty of rewriting the narrative is that it doesn't erase what happened, it transforms it. The heartbreak doesn't become meaningless, it becomes proof that we can love deeply and survive loss. The failure doesn't disappear, it becomes a stepping stone to something greater. The pain doesn't vanish, it becomes the foundation for our strength. Because in the end, it's not what happens to us that defines us, it's the story we tell about it. And the best part, we hold the pen. Freedom is not a one-time event. It's not something we achieve and then move on from. It's a choice we have to make over and over again every single day. And emotional freedom, that's the hardest kind. Because it's not about escaping something external, it's about releasing the things we hold on to internally, the grudges, the regrets, the self-doubt, the fears that keep us tethered to the past. Most of us don't even realize how much we're holding on to. We wake up each day carrying the weight of yesterday, the conversations that didn't go the way we wanted, the mistakes we made, the ways we felt unseen or unappreciated. We let these things take up space in our minds, shaping the way we think, the way we act, the way we see the world. And before we know it, we're stuck in a cycle. We tell ourselves we want to move forward, but we keep reliving the same old stories. We say we want to let go, but we keep clinging to the comfort of what's familiar. Because as much as our pain hurts, it's also what we know. And sometimes knowing feels safer than change. But the truth is, freedom is never found in the past. It's only ever found in the present moment. Choosing freedom daily means making the conscious decision to stop carrying what no longer serves us. It means recognizing when we're holding on to something out of habit rather than necessity. It means noticing when we're letting old wounds dictate our new choices. It's in the way we respond when someone upsets us. Do we react with anger, clinging to resentment, or do we pause, breathe, and remind ourselves that we don't have to let someone else's behavior control our emotions? It's in the way we approach failure. Do we let it define us, reinforcing a belief that we're not good enough, or do we see it as proof that we're learning, growing, and pushing beyond our comfort zone? It's in the way we speak to ourselves. Do we replay negative thoughts on a loop, reinforcing self-doubt? Or do we challenge them, replacing them with something kinder, something more true? Freedom is in the little choices, the moments when we decide to release instead of relive, the moments when we step forward instead of looking back, the moments when we remind ourselves that just because something happened doesn't mean it has to control us. And the hardest part? Some days we'll slip. Some days we'll find ourselves holding on to something we thought we had let go of. And that's okay. Because choosing freedom isn't about getting it right all the time. It's about coming back to it again and again until it becomes our new way of being. It's about waking up each morning and deciding, today I choose peace. Today I choose to let go. Today I choose freedom. Emotional freedom isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's not about ignoring pain or forcing ourselves to be positive all the time. It's about making a conscious decision day after day not to let what was define what will be. We all carry weight, but we don't have to. We all crave control, but true strength comes from knowing what to hold on to and what to release. We all tell ourselves stories, but we have the power to write them. And most importantly, we all have the ability to choose every single day to step into a life of freedom instead of one dictated by past burdens. It's not always easy. Some days we'll slip back into old patterns. Some days we'll feel the urge to hold on just a little longer. But the beauty of emotional freedom is that it's never too late to choose it. Because the moment we decide to let go of what doesn't serve us, we make room for something greater. We make room for peace, for growth, for the life we were meant to live. And that choice, that's where real freedom begins.